don't even know what you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Thursday Night Live. It is Thursday night. No, it's Thursday night. But are you thirsty? That's what we want to know. Anyways, the day before the 4th of July, and we hope everybody's going to be safe. We want everybody on Monday to have all their fingers left and toes as well. So don't drink too much. Stay hydrated. Light your fireworks with a long lighter. Don't hold them with your fingers. That's just bad news. Anyway, I'm Craig. As you can see, Bourbon Santa. I'm going to bring in my cohort here, Roger Randall, and see what Roger's up to today. Roger, where are you at? Oh, there's Terry too. Hi,
There's
Terry.
Terry too. There's Terry.
Terry came. We're just going to go with the flow. We're going to let Terry come in and stay too. We can all watch, see what's going on. So everybody knows Roger. Most people, I think, would know Terry. Live from the patio there. What's going on, guys?
Well,
Hey,
I'm
guys.
sitting down in the Wild Turkey Lounge, my unofficial sponsor of Bourbon Neat. So if Wild Turkey wants to send us any bottles or anything, they can do that. I've been searching high and low to try to find new bourbon news, especially around the holiday coming up, which is
Tomorrow's a holiday? Wait a minute. What's
tomorrow's the holiday, the big 4th of July. Somebody here is shooting off fireworks.
250th 4th of July? It's a big birthday.
No, I thought it was 249. 250 is next year, is it not?
Oh, gosh. I just learned it was 250 a minute ago.
Hold on a second. We're celebrating the Army's
1776.
It's 249. We'll be bringing in the year 250. You're right. Easy math. Easy math. Father Fortenberry done summed it up.
Yep. Well, you know, we fingers and toes. We need all those for our
Absolutely. Yeah, everybody be safe out there. If you live in the city limits, don't shoot fireworks. I mean, you know, those poor people with their dogs and their cats are going to be crowding Facebook and YouTube and all these channels, Instagram, saying, "Oh, my dog thinks that it's over in Iran, all these bombs." Don't shoot them in the city limits. County dogs and county cats are not afraid of fireworks. I think it's just the city animals that are afraid.
You would think they hear more gunshots than the ones in the country these days, though.
I mean, maybe, but
you hope not.
Maybe it's machine guns. Maybe in the city they hear machine guns.
I mean, you know, it depends on where you live, I guess. If you live over in Memphis or Chicago, they probably are used to gunfire. Little Rock, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, places like that.
Oh, come on. Banging in Little Rock's one of the best documentaries ever. That goes all the way back.
Absolutely.
Roger, you got to watch Banging in Little Rock. It'll make
I have seen it. But
so, guys, are you all prepared for tomorrow? Everybody's got all their hot dogs and bratwurst ready and whatnot.
well, I hope you do.
I do.
I got my wife back home tonight, which was an achievement, especially with the way the airlines go during the holiday period. So
There you go.
she made it home. So one thing off the check mark list.
Hey,
Yeah, I've been prepping ribs. I'm cooking ribs tomorrow. I have 9 slabs of baby back ribs I'm putting on.
baby back, baby back, baby
Hold on a
back
second.
ribs.
9 slabs.
9. Yep, 9 slaps of ribs, as my son would say. Yeah, they'll go on real early in the morning, be ready about 1. So
Harry, you have a question. Are you a I said Terry, not Siri. Siri's over here talking to me now.
it happens to me a lot, actually.
I'll just start calling you T from now on. T.
Yeah, there you
T. Do you do wet ribs or dry ribs?
Yeah, both. Actually, I've converted in recent years. I was a dry rib type of guy. Now I like a muddy, they'd call it. I like it with the dry rub and then a little sauce on the end, but caramelized. I like the 3-2-1 method. I actually use the 2-2-1 method, and we do not we like ours practically falling off the bone around here. That's
Now, do you foil the ends?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you're not into the competition where you have to have a little mouth feel there, a little chew.
There'll be some that are like that, but no, we like them fall off the bone around these. Plus, we don't have many teeth in Arkansas, so it really comes in better when you cook those.
Maybe because you're over in the Delta area. We're over here in Central Arkansas. We have a little bit better hygiene here.
Fluoride in the water.
Fluoride in the water. That's funny. Every time I go to hot springs and I'm getting that nice spring water, almost guaranteed every time somebody's going to say, this water is so good because it doesn't have fluoride in it. And we're like, that's true. That's true. All right. I say, let's move on with this show a little bit. And let's, Roger, what's going on? Anything new in the old bourbon world there?
Well, we hit the month of July, and you're getting a lot of those quarterly release bourbons that are dropping their bourbons. So the last week was the A 525 for Elijah Craig, and then this week was the Larceny batch B 525 got released, and those are my question goes out to the people that are listening tonight. Put in the post, please put a response to me and say, yes, I'm still going out and searching for the Elijah Craig and the Larcenies each time they come out, or no, I'm waiting and see if they're really good or not before I buy them. So just answer me that question if you can in the chat. I would appreciate it. The other thing that come out, and again, some people are on board with this product and some people are not. Frey Ranch is actually their farm strength uncut bourbon is up to batch number 17, which for me is an amazing thing because I remember when they first produced their first bottle. So it's kind of an interesting thing to see that they stuck around and made a go of it amongst all these bigger distilleries, and they carved out a niche with their grain to glass product. And if you've ever had one of the Frey Ranch bottles, that could be used as a deadly weapon. I'm just saying, the thing weighs about 3 pounds. The other thing that's got a cool looking bottle that just came out, and I think we talked about it last week, was the Old Fitzgerald 7-year bottle and bond bourbon. Memphis people are starting to see the bottles of it hit the stores. Hopefully don't overpay for it because we're starting to see more of it over here and other places at the MSRP, which is good, somewhere around $59 to $65. The things that I would say, that another thing that's came out that was, I still haven't seen any bottles of it yet, hit in any place, is the 7-year-old Old Granddad bottled and bond. So that could be an interesting one to try. I'd like to try those because the price point on it's about $39. Again, goes back to what we talked about a week ago, that distilleries aren't making more, different bourbons. They're just expanding the lines and the age statements on the bourbons they currently have in barrel, and that saves them a lot of money. And just have to change up a label, and it's easy to do.
That's right.
Um, the other thing to look forward to, because we're going to be talking about it later here, but Ben Holladay's got an 8-year product that they just released, and it's available in single barrels by states. It should be available on shelves. And then the last one is going to be something that we're going to try, hopefully later on, to maybe have a feature on one of the nights. K. Luke just released their batch 11. And then also they're releasing single barrels, which will be in the state of Mississippi, which some of our folks are around, and will be released in Mississippi in their single barrels of the regular bourbon with a cognac cask finish. So I'm interested. Color me interested.
Yeah,
Very
I'm a
good.
fan of cognac finish. That turns out really well.
Yeah, I haven't. When did you say that? 1792. I mean, I've seen some out on other YouTube channels, but it's not hit the market yet around here, I guess, huh?
No, 1792. The cognac finish on it has not. It's in Kentucky, and people on secondary are wanting $200 a bottle, which is
Yeah.
don't pay that. Just don't pay it, because I can guarantee you Sazerac didn't produce this product to just make a little bit and to have it be like their old style sweet wheat and all those other crazy things. Those prices come down. Wait for it to be at a good attainable price.
Yeah, I think people are tired of paying those prices. I think the bourbon industry is ready for a correction, if you will.
Well, I think that correction is starting to take place. One of these Thursday nights, I'm going to see if I can get my friend who is a distributor here in Arkansas to see if I can get him to come on live and maybe do a little State of the Union address, and he tells me some things that's going on, and that's probably bad for them and probably really good for us. So.
Well, I can tell you, went over to Memphis this week and was really surprised at some of the prices. There's a price war going on the E.H. Taylor small batch. Who has the lowest price, and and it's amazing how many bottles of it there are. And I mean, you come to this time last year, you go around to the stores and they'd be $100 to $150 a bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Now $59 is going rate.
And I wonder if these small distilleries. I mean, I know we're really into like Detling, Crittenden's. You'd mentioned Frey Ranch, even Ben Holladay. I guess you would consider a craft distillery. Yep. I wonder does that have any play into pricing for the big boys like Jim Beam and Buffalo Trace products? I mean, do you think they're feeling any heat from that, or is it just such a small percentage that they don't even consider them competition?
Well, here's the other thing I mentioned, and this is news to some degree, because the new batch of Bookers came out, the Pond batch, and I've seen it on some shelves for $89. And I don't know about anybody else, but you used to see that at $129. I think it's the retailers and the distributors, the retailers are starting to realize, hey, I can't put this premium on this bottle. I have to sell it at MSRP in order to move out what's going on. And the other thing is, Bookers, there's a lot of it out there. The first batch, there was a lot out there, and the second batch, there's a lot out there. So they've kind of put more on the market to hopefully bring back some of these prices. And I think that's where they're trying to do. Because they want people to have the bottles in their house and to, try them and to have them, and then want the next batch that comes along when batch 3 comes along.
Well, I think all the big distilleries, the tater bottles, as we all call them, now people, I know most of our group are chasing the craft distilleries, and the only way they can counter that is to be more readily available. See, the problem they had, theirs were more expensive, and now these craft distilleries are more available. And their only option is to become shelfers again, which is what most of those were until probably 2020, 2021.
Yeah, I agree. you see, I don't see the people chasing. I know that we mentioned the other day, last time, when's the first stag batch coming? Nobody knows. And I haven't heard, I've heard a few people say, hey, they're looking forward to it, but nobody's looking forward to it if it's going to be $150, $200 a bottle,
And
because
there's
there's a lot
no
of other
news about it,
variety.
Roger. I can't find anything about Stag Batch this year.
No,
D
I
came
haven't been
out
able to find anything. I
late.
even sent a message to my Sazerac person and haven't heard anything back. I don't know if they know. Again, the conspiracy theories can abound. It could have been sitting in a barrel and got washed away in the flood. I don't know. We might be finding it down there in Mississippi somewhere.
Yeah,
Don't
that's the new
worry, don't
experiment.
worry. The flood batch will be expensive, guaranteed, like the tornado batch. Speaking of Buffalo Trace, last week on our group, the Bourbon Legends Discord page, we had a giveaway, and one of our legends won the bottle. And I think that we should probably, congratulate him at this point. Chill Will Rocco. I know it's kind of hard to see up there. I posted it there. He was the winner. He's a mid-level celebrity, and now he is a winner of the Weller 107. We're going to start doing these raffles, if you will, giveaways, more regular now. The more people we get, the more regular we can do that. And an interesting note about Will is he did not have a bottle
Isn't that hard to
of
believe?
this and won that bottle. And actually, it's still in my possession. I haven't hand delivered it to him yet. Probably tomorrow if I don't forget to load it in my truck before the big celebration. But anyway, I want to reach out and say congratulations to Will for winning that bottle.
Cheers, Will.
Cheers.
I know
Will.
I know Will's on here. He's
He's in the chat.
he was wanting to be a moderator, so I made him a moderator. So he may be in there running people off right now.
Yeah, you never know.
All right, next up tonight, what we're going to talk about is we're going to do our review of the Ben Holladay. I figured since tomorrow is a holiday, why not celebrate with a pour that's a holiday? I couldn't find any 4th of July bourbon per se, so we just went with a holiday. And every time I look at it, it looks like I've spelled it wrong. Holiday. I always want to say holiday, but anyway.
I'm sure I've spelled it wrong on every thumbnail I've done with Ben Holladay.
Yeah, you want to add that I to it. You want to add that I to it. I'm just telling you.
So Terry and I both have. It's the Rickhouse Proof Red, soft red wheat. And Roger, show your bottle, Roger.
Well, I got what they do for a lot of the stores and things. I've got a 1-barrel bourbon of the soft red wheat, and this was actually Leo's batch, which was Todd Randall and Randall's Liquors up in St. Louis. No relation, but good friend. They released inside their store. They only had about 80 bottles of it, and it was dedicated to his firstborn son. So that's what I'm going to try. Mine sits at about 120.2, which.
Well, mine's 120.1, so
yeah,
it's going to be hard to decipher that point.
Now the question is,
mine's
Terry,
120.
is yours a 6-year bottling or a 7-year bottling?
6. It's a 6 and a 120.1.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to tell people is be looking out there, because apparently now they're going to have more of the 7-year bottling on some of the those bottles that are released, especially the Rickhouse Proof, things like that.
So did you guys just do a fresh pour, or how long has it been sitting in your Glen?
Oh, mine's only been sitting for probably 30 seconds. It's not long.
I cracked the cork. Oh wait, the screw cap. That's the other thing is they do not have a cork. Okay.
Don't be like me and sit here for 20 minutes trying to pull the cork out of it and then realize, oh, it's a screw top.
Do you know several things like this lately, though? I'll go back to it because I hadn't been in this bottle in a while. I forget how good they are. Like, it's nice to come back to something because the nose is just fabulous.
Yeah, lots of. I get deep caramel on the nose.
Yep, I do too.
Yeah. I tell you, the thing I was lucky about is being the fact that it was a Kansas City brand. When I lived in St. Louis, it was released into St. Louis market fairly early on, and we actually got some of the first single barrels that they did, and more of them they're produced went through the Missouri market just because it was easier for them. But it has always been an amazing port for me. I've got up here. I've got one that I did. I actually set in on the barrel pick for it for Mash and Journey. It's a 7-year bottle and bond, a 7-year bourbon and a 7-year wheated, and both of those were really fantastic.
So on the nose, what are you guys getting other than caramel? Or anything particularly stand out?
A little marshmallow. I get a little marshmallow. Just a little.
I'm getting like a little banana nut bread or something. Maybe it's that wheat in it or something. I'm not sure.
Maybe
Could
that's
be the
actually
wheat.
what I'm talking about. Yep.
The combo of the wheat and the oak.
It was
You
so
know.
funny tonight. We went out to eat, and my wife she ordered a beer. It's local beer made in Little Rock, and she says, "Taste this." And I first thing I did was I brought it up to my nose and smelled it, and I'm like, "That
I did.
smells like blueberry muffin." And she goes, "Blueberry muffin?" I'm like, "Yeah, from the strawberry shortcake series, like those little dolls." And then she's like, it's a blueberry wheat or something. I can't remember what it was. And I'm like, my God, I'm not really a beer drinker, but I'm really picking up on the nose on these things.
Nailed it.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's like a little little Debbie or whatever. Not a little Debbie. Who makes the little Debbie. I think she makes the blueberry
They make the
muffins
little
too.
blueberry
So
muffins. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm picking up on the wheat a lot on these wheaters, the bready,
Oh yeah.
cake, almost like a cake. That wheat really comes through. It's very sweet though.
Yeah, it's sweet, and again, I don't consider it like the wheat funk that I get on other things, but it doesn't have that harshness to it.
And for 120 proof, I mean, I'm getting a little Kentucky hug, uh, but nothing major. I mean, I don't think it drinks 120.
Well, it's gentle.
Oh no, but I'm not sure anything drinks 120 anymore. So when I'm drinking it,
No.
it's wild.
You,
It's
you may
wild.
just be used to it now.
I think so. But on the finish, there's some vanilla hanging around on the finish of this one.
Yeah. I think is that again with mine, I know it's a fresh crack, so it might not have as much. And is the other thing I would suggest if you do want to do one of these and you do have one of those higher proof things, I know it's hard for Terry to do or T to do, but take it, put it in a Glencairn and let it sit for about 10, 15 minutes before you taste it and see if that changes. If it changes a
Man,
little bit, kind of play with it a little bit because that's where you're going to find out your sweet spot of whether you like it a little bit aired out or if you like it straight out of the bottle.
And I guess you could take it one step further. I know whenever you go to Kentucky and you go to these distillery tours and whatnot and the tastings, they always have a little bit of water there. Some places with an eyedropper or whatever. And it really does change the notes. One drop in a
Oh yeah.
Glen will change
Oh
it
yeah,
so much. And now on this one, the thing that I was really kind of lacking almost is the oak. And maybe it's
I
just
don't
me.
get a lot of oak.
I don't
get a
get
lot of
much
oak.
oak on it.
Not much at all. For a 6-year,
No.
there's probably no oak there. Or I don't pick up on it.
I don't pick up on it at all.
and that could have been the barrel and the charring that they do. They've got a little bit different process as far
I
as their barrel charring
personally,
and toasting.
I personally like oak
Yeah.
myself. So
Boy, I added some water to that, and boy, that really opened up with just a little
did it
bit.
really?
Yeah. Actually, it was a partially melted little ice cube I dropped in there, and it changed.
I always
Yeah,
say I'm
right.
going to put a little bit, and a little ends up being a lot. Whoop.
It changed that flavor profile tremendously.
It's
I don't
really
have my
amazing how that works.
Much more caramel forward, or to me, it is much more caramel forward. Man, wow, that wasn't much water there.
Yeah.
Good.
It
Okay.
just it totally will change it. If anybody's out there, I know a lot of people, they maybe do not like so much oak, or it's very heavy ethanol. Besides letting it set out, and kind of vaporizing or flashing off. I'm a floor guy, so we always called it when the solvents escaped, it was
That's right.
flashing
Yeah.
off.
Oh yeah.
So,
No doubt.
but add a little bit of, just add a drop of water, and then take it one step further. When my wife was drinking neat with me, I bought her some Kentucky limestone water,
Oh.
and that made a big
Yep.
difference as well.
Mm.
So,
There's no fluoride in that Kentucky limestone
no,
water.
absolutely not.
Well, I actually use spring water from
Oh.
down there in the hot springs that we get.
Whoa.
That's
Chill
what I
Wheel
use. I've got
Rocco. Does Chill Wheel bottle it and send it to you, Roger?
actually me and Santa went down there and filled up the 5 gallon jugs full of stuff.
Yeah, looks
We
like
were
a
bringing
tourist.
across county lines.
You're such
I'm
a
telling you.
tourist. Hmm. Oh, was
All right, was
Santa,
in.
hold on. Were you distilling with that water, Santa?
I
Is
have
it
no idea what you're talking about.
oh,
I can tell you this: it makes great donuts. It's some of the best donut water that you'd ever have.
we love
I
donuts.
used to work for this old man. His name was Hack, and Hack was 100 years old, and he swore he made it to that age because he drank that hot springs fountain natural water. And
Well, sign me up, dude.
I mean, hey, you don't have any of that over there in Marion, huh?
Got that muddy Mississippi water. I believe it'll kill you in about 3 days. So it's the exact opposite occurred. Yeah. You gotta be
Well,
careful.
okay.
Oh, we drink
So when
whiskey.
next time you come to Little Rock, you come this way, go to the Walmart and get yourself a 5 gallon jug, and we'll just take you down there and we'll fill it up with it.
So Mike Brock asked a question, Roger. Do you get it from the public pool there in Hot Springs?
Actually, no, Mike. We were thinking about draining the pool down there, but we said one of those public baths, going into the bathhouse and dipping it out of there. But no,
If Sydney Sweeney was in that public bath, I would dang sure be making donuts out of that water. Did you see she's with Tom Brady now?
Oh, now she was everybody was chasing her around that Bezos wedding. So it wasn't just, and the funny thing was she didn't know either one of them. She was just the nice starlet that was out there being chased around by all the wealthy folks. Go Tom Brady. That dude has the perfect life is all I know.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
When the Super Bowl was in New Orleans, one of my friends, where Fox was doing their newscast or their sportscast out of, she lives right next door to them, to that area. And she said, I'm going to tell you what, Tom Brady is a good looking man. Like, it's just like the TV, the makeup, all that. She says, he's just good looking, period. And I'm like, some guy, what was a Rod Stewart song? Some guys have all the luck, I guess. So
yeah, I tell you what, from the first day he got drafted,
yeah,
and that interview he did when he got drafted, and he said, "Well, I'm going to go out to be the best quarterback in the NFL."
Yep.
There's only one mission, and I'm like, and he did it. Most people can't argue with it. He did it. So
he did it. Deflated balls and all.
I got a thing from RJ States. He's asked if I've ever been to the ABV barrel shop up in Arnold, Missouri, and yes, I have. And we will have to take a trip up to St. Louis sometime, you guys. ABV Barrel Shop just does single barrels, and he goes around and picks them out throughout the whole country. And everything's at cast strength, straight from the barrel, and he gets them done specifically for him. It was one of the first Detling picks I ever got in St. Louis on the Missouri side was from the ABV Barrel Shop. So again, I don't mind giving them a little props because
Sasquatch.
That's Bourbon Sasquatch.
Yeah, okay. I thought so. Yeah, I thought I heard of that guy.
And he's got a lounge next door.
Guys, I hate to be the rule keeper here, but we're on a time restraint now. So anybody want to give their final notes and I think we're all going to give it a thumbs up. What do you think value wise? Anybody want to chime in and
Look,
give
I
their
think I
final
I
review?
60 or 70 bucks for mine, and I'd do it again. And actually, I'm gonna be on the lookout because I only have about half left. So I'm ready for another one. This is way better than I recall. You know, last week the Bourbon Nerd and I did the Weller lineup and was very disappointed because we hadn't drank Weller in a long time, and there was a reason for that. We don't have the CYP or Singer Barrel, but they're not the best anyway. But as far as the weeder goes, this would have beat it. I'd definitely get another one, especially at this proof point.
And what I'll remind people is that Ben Holladay has a bottled and bond soft red wheat and the regular bourbon. But yeah, and those are both hitters because I think they kind of walk you back a little bit on that proof that some people don't like, every night, and they can go for it. But they also do these one barrel selects like mad, and they've done a few in our market and over on the our Memphis side, but they're good to have. I think it's a good value. I recommend it all the time.
What about you, Craig?
I like it. Like I said, it's not overly expensive. It's pretty relatively easy for me to say available, or at least around my parts it is. So I give it a 2 thumbs up, but I don't have 2 thumbs to do it with, so I think it's good. All right, guys.
Hey, hold on though. One thing, and look, numbers are at 21. We might as well try to keep going if we can keep talking. We got high numbers now. That's the highest viewers we have. There's a secret. There's a secret we need to share with people.
Are you talking about what's upcoming?
That we might have a meetup upcoming.
Oh, that's true. I thought you were talking about what we were going to do in the future here, though.
That too. All of that.
We can do that too.
Yep, but I'm going to let y'all in now. There may be a meetup somewhere in Central Tennessee in the not so distant future. If you guys would like to join us, and a lot of people I see in this chat are not far from that area. They would probably
it actually brings people all over the place.
Tell us about it, Kate.
So we haven't picked a date yet. We're still up in there. Sometime between the middle of July and middle of August, we plan on the Bourbon Legends meeting up with none other than Mike Brock in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm sure that it'll include a trip to the Nashville Barrel Company where I'm sure we'll bottle our own bottle. I would love to stop by Old Glory and see if we can find some of that Queen share. Then we even could go down, if time allows, to Lynchburg, Tennessee, where a few of us Esquires would love to go look at that little 1-inch plot of land that we own. Although I have not got my Squire certificate yet. People that I nominated got their Squire certificate, but I have not. Have you gotten yours yet, Craig?
Nope, I have not.
See, and you nominated myself and Roger.
And Roger
nominated the nerd, and he got his, and I still don't have mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I might have friends in the Squire community that might have pushed that along a little bit for me, but if you can't find it soon, Craig, I'll make sure that you get it.
Well, you know what? Unless they put all of our little plots of land together where we can build something, otherwise, I mean, we're just going to have to make a teeny tiny little sign that says "Stay off our lawn" and stick it on there. You guys don't mind if I have another drink, do you?
I just poured the bottle and bond soft red wheat just for comparison.
Well, and I just poured one of the.
Okay, he's got even another weirdly labeled bottle. Why do you have all the weirdly labeled bottles, Roger?
Well, I lived in St. Louis, and we had all those single barrels, and I bought them. This came from a place called City Park Grill, which is a bar in St. Louis, and they were one of the first 3 in the state of Missouri to get a single barrel.
See, he called it Benji Holladay. He knows him so well. It's Benji Holladay.
Yeah,
Benji.
I tell you what, if anybody ever gets a chance to go to Holladay Distillery up in Kansas City, just north of Kansas City in Weston, Missouri, go there, do the tour, and just sit around and relax.
Where did you say this was, Roger?
It's in Weston, Missouri.
Okay, so that's quite a bit of ways from Uranus, Missouri.
Oh yeah, Uranus is down in the south and a little bit in the
everybody knows that Uranus is lower than Weston.
Hey guys,
of course.
In the chat, we got Tracy Silly Yorkie said she's down for Nashville. Mark Duffy he's going to Jack Daniels on the 21st or 22nd. I tell you what, Mark Duffy, I'm gonna reach out because I'm dying to get over there. Even if we can't work it into our little trip we're doing. Mike Brock said that he hopes when he gets to Jack Daniels that he can. You're right that he'll be sitting there put a stay off my lawn sign. So that's what I think would be great.
We're just gonna ask to get all of ours combined together, and we'll get Marshall Coleman to build something on it.
Marshall will be out there cutting the lawn with a little bitty clipper.
Yeah, we cutting it with a little clippers. That's right.
Now, guys, here's what I want you to do. I'm not talking about us three that are on the channel here because I'm pretty sure we're all subscribed, at least with our aliases. Everybody else, there's 19 in the chat right now. If you haven't subscribed, please do. A little birdie flew up on my shoulder there earlier tonight and said that we were pretty close to 150 subscribers. So we'd like for you guys to join in and subscribe. And this is going to be your opportunity to win some bottles, or not bottles. I always say bottles, samples. Starting next week here on Thursdays live, we're going to start giving away sample packs. And on the 31st of July, we're going to give away a big one. I mean, it's going to be a awesome allocated pack. Right now, I know we've got a Pappy. Is it a B lot? I believe. Is it? What is that,
Lot
Pappy?
B.
Lot B.
Lot B.
Yeah. We're going to have that. We're going to have. If I get that Calumet 18 by then, I'll throw a little Calumet 18 in. We're going to have some really highly allocated samples in there. There's one caveat, though. You must be a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, your name is not going to go into that big wheel of fortune there. So be sure and subscribe. And then starting next week, we're going to start taking your comments where you can add. Everybody will get one chance. Now, here's the other thing. All right. So when I play Santa, I always put your listening ears on. Guys, if you subscribe to our Discord channel, if you become a tier 1 member in our Discord channel, you will automatically get 5 entries.
Whoa.
Into that raffle as well. And pretty much you will get 5 entries every time we have a raffle, whether it's the highly allocated bottles or samples, or whether it's the old granddad 7 or 7 year when it comes out that we're trying to pawn off on you guys. So Mark Duffy wants to know the Discord link. Go to thebourbonlegends.com. Once you get to thebourbonlegends.com, you can go in there and just click join, and it will send you right to where you need to be. Okay, so enough about that commercial.
Well, I want to continue on the commercial here. And I'm not that I'm begging or anything, but you've got a wife in your house or a significant other or a child who's over the age of 21, have them go out and subscribe because we need subscribers. I want to get over 150 tonight.
Oh, we just hit 150, guys. We just hit 150, and I checked all 13 of mine are subscribed, but we just hit 150. That was the goal for tonight. I did double check. All of them were. I was surprised.
Thanks, Terry. All 13 of your aliases pushed us over the limit there, buddy.
Yeah, we'll find more about those aliases here.
And here's the thing. I know when we do bottle shares and whatnot, I mean, this is mainly, you can go to the YouTube analytics and look. This is mainly a middle-aged guy club. But you know what? I love women, and I would love to see your wives and significant others get in on this as well. And the guys can get together and drink, and the girls can get together and drink if they want to drink wine or whatever.
And the girls can drink with us, Craig. We have girls that drink.
Yeah, we have girls. Members of
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Tracy, Silly Yorkshire whiskey for me. She drinks with us. She's great. Enjoy it so much. Her husband actually tagged along with her. And so
that's kind of like Keith P and Miss Dorothy. I think Keith P just rides her coattails.
Yeah, I think so too. But Miss Dorothy Keith P, you are exactly right. My wife
Yeah.
likes to smell the whiskey. She doesn't care to drink it, but she likes to smell it. And look, women's nose or their nose is way
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Silly Yorkie's out there, and she's calling it. She goes, "I
Oh, I
drink
thought there.
most
She gave me
beers."
credit. She gave me credit, Roger. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
guys, I know everybody thinks
Hold on, one more.
I'm
Poor
ruling this.
decision pairing. Hold on, I'm going to interrupt you. Poor decision pairings. Mary, I think's better than Brandon. I said it. There you go, Brandon. You can get mad.
Yeah. Oh, and remember the most important person,
Yeah.
Daniel Beasley's sister, is a member of the channel,
Kimmy, yeah, Kimmy is she's a card carrying member of the Bourbon Legends.
and she is also our nurse to help keep us healthy and keep us all going.
And it's not because she was the only woman around, but maybe it was that I tried to jump in bed with her and Daniel.
Now those are secrets left for the Discord, Craig.
Those
Yep.
are those are better for other
Those are the
channels.
backroom
Or
things.
on the patio. That sounds like a Jamie
That's
story from the
after
patio.
hours.
Actually, that's a Jamie story from the patio. Look, there's a one. Eclair. I don't know who Eclair is, but that's got to be a female. There we go.
This is how
I love it.
legends are made. All right, guys, let's move on. I've got one more topic that I want to bring up, and I think this may be really fun, thought provoking, and the first liar doesn't have a chance. But legendary hunt stories. Now we
Oh,
probably should have had Daniel on to
oh.
with this one because I have legendary hunt stories about Daniel. So
Yeah. Well, I have a story about Daniel tonight. He was over
Uh-oh.
on Discord. We had to go drag him off Discord and bring him over because he forgot we were live.
Hey, I have a potential one today. I told you guys before we went on air. I think I'll share it now. I'm gonna steal it. It's Austin's story. Austin was out in the Memphis area today looking for straight from the barrel because Daniel did get one today. He happens up to a store and it was well overpriced. But when they rang it up, instead of $299, it rang up as $29.99. As he reached in his pocket, he hesitated briefly, just long enough to allow them to realize it was incorrectly priced. So he did not steal that bottle. But that would have been a legendary story. He called me to tell me how almost legendary he was this afternoon. So, Austin, you get the legendary hunt story of the week from my standpoint.
woo, I wish we had like a sound machine where we could do cheers and whatnot.
I have one. Let me see if I'll play. Can y'all hear
Uh-oh.
that? You can hear that?
That one sounded like you stepped on a frog or
Okay,
something.
see, I can't even hear it, so that's the funny part. Okay. Yeah, that's those buttons Marty always hits that y'all know about. Yeah.
So mine next.
Roger, you have one?
Yeah, I got one. I think one of the other members of this here panel was on this trip because we went on a trip where we hit close to 29 stores in one day. And that hunt took on a life of its own because we were catching people in the morning that we met. They gave up, couldn't keep up with us. We brought people into the vehicle, drug them along. Roy Passman, you know who you are. You went along with us. We hit 29 stores that day. We filled up the truck and had an amazing time because we learned what stores we wanted to go to again in the future and which ones we don't. And that come to help me this last week on Wednesday when I was going around Memphis. I always hit certain stores because I knew there was ones I didn't want to go to anymore. So you can get things, and like this week, to pair that out, one of those legendary stores I call it. I went there, walked in, they got a shipment, and they had the Bowman Batch 10 barrel proof and A. Smith Bowman for $99 retail. Again, going back to what we talked about earlier, retailers putting things out maybe just to get it, at retail. So it was a good deal. It was a good
Yeah.
day.
A lot of times it really just depends on being at the right place, at the right time. Uh, One of my more recent stories is when I was in Florida, I went to the ABC Fine Wine and Liquors there in Navarre Beach and walked in, was shooting a little video, and there were 5 Old Fitz 7-year bottle and bonds sitting right there on the shelf. And you know. Probably if I'd have been 5 minutes later, they would have been gone. Although I did buy three of them. I should have bought five. I only bought three. I left two of them there for somebody else. And I think that's, being a good steward, right? Like, I didn't need five bottles,
Not when
although,
you have brothers at home that are wanting that bottle, Craig. Come on now.
and I regretted, Terry, not buying all five when it was all said and done. But I thought the bourbon gods would shine down on me and I might find something, and it did. I ended up with a Star Hill Farms wheat
Oh,
whiskey
nice. Nice.
later on that day. So, maybe that was the bourbon god shining down on me. So
There you go. Awesome.
anyway, guys, it is 8:45 and we still have 18 people on here. Do you think that we have a few minutes to maybe take some questions from the audience?
Yeah, might as well.
All right. Anybody
Can I
wants
bring
to?
up a question?
Yeah, sure.
This is something that I've always thought about. Terry,
Yeah.
being the person that you are that I followed through life on the patio and everything else. How did you get started in bourbon?
Okay. This is a very funny story. I was very funny story. I'm a big guy. If you guys aren't aware, I'm probably even larger than you think I am in person, right, Roger? You agree
great
that I'm a big fella. So I've always been a big fella my whole life. So I was I didn't drink in high school. I know it's underage, but I didn't drink in high school. But after I got out of high school, I went to a party, and a guy I knew had a pint of Jim Beam. And he had just opened it. He said, "You want to pull?" And I turned that pint up and basically drank the entire pint. And I handed it back. He'll tell you the same story today. His name's Scott. He'd never forget this story. And I handed it back to him. He said, "Oh my God." I said, "Yeah, that was pretty good." He goes, "You drank the whole thing?" I said, "Yeah." I didn't even really know any better at that point. But that was my first sip of bourbon. And then I went my originally it was Old Charter 10-year-old that I just loved. I'd look for those bottles, mix it. And from there, it was like Crown Royal. I hated Jack Daniels. And then, 2020 rolls around and we all had all this time at home, right? We all had this time at home. I was going to work every day, but we weren't doing many other things. The world shut down and some buddies came over and we started trying different bourbons, different whiskeys. And next thing you know, I've got a small collection. Well, then a couple years even go by, and it was December of 2023. The Bourbon Nerd, we went over to his shop. He just put a TV up, and we find the Bourbon Ranch, first YouTube channel we ever watched. Then we figure out Dudes Out of Little Rock. That was the first bourbon tube channel we ever watched. And then we just got to watching. And then it was this community where you say, "Hey, cheers, everybody." And you're nervous at first. And so we're like, "Cheers, everybody. Hey, whatever." And then we got in with all these folks. And it was New Year's Eve of 2024 was the first live we ever got on with whiskey. Or maybe 23, 24. No, it had to be 23. New Year's Eve of 23. Gary and I tried to get on with Baker's Drinks on the New Year's extravaganza, and it was an absolute disaster. They couldn't hear us. We ran away like two little school kids. Then we started doing a few little lives of our own. Those were disasters. We didn't know what we was doing. We had way too many people. Noise was terrible. Then we realized, hey, let's just start on every Tuesday at 6:30. There was a time slot no one else had. Let's do something. And we would follow all these other bourbon channels. Bruzel was one of the early ones. We got to meet Bruzel early on before he was really, really big. Super dude, very open to it. And every channel, the people were just really, really nice, right? They really were. And we've had such a great run here. Such a great run. But now, as you see this wall behind me, I've lost track how many bottles are there, but a lot of Detling. I love Jack Daniels now. It's probably my favorite distillery. That Detling, Crittenden's got stags for days up there now. I remember my first stag. I paid way too much for that. My first Eagle Rare paid way too much for.
Same here. Eagle Rare, Blanton's. I remember the first Blanton's I found and actually bought was I think it was $110.
That's what I gave for my first one.
Found it in the wild, and I was just tickled to death. Guys,
didn't like it. I didn't like it the first time I tried.
Chill Will has a good question. He says, "What bourbon do you refuse to drink and why?"
I don't know if there's anything I refuse. Roger, is there one you refuse to drink?
Well, I again, it comes from a previous from another channel, another gentleman, but again, I totally agree with him. It would be Willet Pot Still. You see the fancy bottle with the straight neck, you think, oh, this is going to be great. I still remember the first time I saw it and was like, oh, I got to have a pour of this. And we had been drinking some very good stuff, and it was just available at a bar. Like the lady poured us a 2 ounce shot of it, and I had a hard time finishing it. And it was like nothing like I thought it was because I'd always heard all these great things about Willet Purple Top. I heard all these other things about all the other Willet products, but that pot still just didn't work. And I've known a lot of bourbon that's done with pot stills that I love right now.
Yep.
I enjoy Rocktown. Not everybody else's favorite.
Okay, there's
the
one. There's the one I don't like right now. It's Rocktown. You're right. I have not found one I like.
Very few Rocktown that I really care for, honestly, and I hate that because I mean, it's just so convenient for us. If it was like a Detling, oh my God, you guys would be Rocktown rich.
Or Old Dominic here. Old Dominic is close to us, and they're not like great, but they're really good. Really like it, and we have a surprise. Life in the Patio is going to be doing some a release of Old Dominic 8-year. And you saw people have samples. We have a whole bottle. We're going.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're a little late to announce that because I know some people's already shot videos on that.
Yeah, they have samples, but we have an entire bottle. August 1st.
Yeah, there you go.
We're asked to wait August 1st, but an entire bottle. Looking forward to it.
Mark Duffy wants to know: has any of us ventured into Scotch? I'll take this one right off the bat. Not no, but hell no. I don't like Scotch.
Will has. I know he has. He's tried to turn me on to it. Tracy said she likes Scotch. Man, I just can't do the peated. I just can't do the peated stuff.
And that's I'm honest. I have a few scotches that I have. Most of them are on the light peat side. Ones that have been introduced by other people. Budenhaven is one that the 12-year Budenhaven and the cast strength of the Budenhaven. But all the other ones, the Lafroig and all those others, they're hard to get used to. I know people that are trying to get me to do more of them, but it's again, I'll try the ones I like, the non-peated, but yeah, you're right. The peat kind of gets to you. That's too much.
There's just something about I don't know. I guess we could get real technical here. It's just such a long aging period, over there. Just don't think it has the nuances that American bourbon has. They basically have one season, right? It's like cold and damp all year. Where here, we have we have 4 seasons that influence of the barrel. I just think it's more complex and interesting. And the peat, I know people say, well, there's more than just peat. There's non-peated, but God, that peat. I mean, they heat their homes over there with that, and then no, can't do it. I just can't do it.
Well, this is a divisive topic, as you can see in the chat. There's a lot of people trying to get people to try different things. And again, I think I don't mind trying anything once. Same with the bourbon. There's not many of them that honestly I tried the pot still and I didn't like it.
And the pot still really wasn't bad.
I agree with you.
Down. It's just the finish on it. I mean, it's just yeah. Not good.
It kills you on the backside of it. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, going the nose on it's not bad. As it goes down and covers your palate, it's not bad. And then all of a sudden, pow!
Oh, there's
it just hits you with some funk.
Craig, there's a good question. Matthew Jarrett, a neighbor, actually asked, my wife's going to Bowling Green, Kentucky in August. What would be a good bottle that not that available around here for her to pick up for him? Ooh.
Guys, anybody? I'm not familiar with Bowling Green area.
It's pushing east a little bit, and I don't know. I don't know I'm not familiar with that area in that market. I know that if you go anywhere near Clarksville, Tennessee, my new favorite thing that I'm going with is just Old Glory, and I've enjoyed that. That was a
I
single
agree.
barrel that we had last night on the stream, and I was really surprised with it. That if you can find that, that's one that might not be available in our market as much, but
And if you get the Old Glory Queen share, there'll be a QS on the single barrel. It's even better. That bottle is one of my favorites this year that I've had, and maybe one of the favorites I ever had. Chill Will had a good question too. What's the best thing you ever had a drink of?
Cock.
I know mine.
Cock.
Because it hasn't been dethroned.
All right, Roger. What is it?
WLW 2024 and 2023 or 2022. WLW.
King of Kentucky, followed very closely by single rick house from Russell's.
See, I haven't had any of those. There is, and Ernest knows what I'm going to say here is that Corbin Cash hazmat that I've got on the shelf, but followed by some of these Jack Daniels are really good. Some of those Jack Daniels, what is it? The twice barreled rye. Man, those are fantastic pours.
Yeah, those are good.
Fantastic pours. And I never thought I'd play Jack Daniels.
There's another bourbon legend we need to bring on sometime is Ernest, because he does the hazmat bottles. He went all the way down to Jackson to get a bottle of hazmat that's available there, and he hunts those up.
Mike points out, and okay, Mike, I'm going to rank that up there too. So I'm going to say 3 of them. 22 release of 13 Colony Double Oak, and we just had the 24.
That's a good one too.
Man, those are fantastic. Those are so good. Really, really good. The thing all of those pours I just mentioned had in common is that oakiness, Craig, you mentioned earlier that we didn't get on these holidays.
Yeah, very oaky, but it's a good oak. It's I think when it comes to oak, if you get a good oak, something that I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, when they make barrels, that most of that oak has been aged out in the open, lets the rain fall on it and the sun shine on it and everything. And different barrels have different age statements on the oak. And the thing about the double oak 13 colonies, I'm not for sure what barrels they're using, but they're not tannic. And if you don't know what tannic means, the tannins in the oak that will make your mouth bitter. If any of you guys have ever tried a persimmon that's not ripe and you put it in your mouth and your mouth suddenly turns dry and bitter and you're just like.
Or a strong Cabernet has that tannins to it. I think Roger's a wine guy, right, Roger?
Yeah,
Cab has that tannins to it as well. Yeah, I really
we'll get into my story at some time. And wine used to be was my first love and dragged me into bourbon as well, because you had to have something to follow it up with at the end of the night. But yeah, a lot of the stuff out of California, the wines out of there are, have various levels of tannin and tannicky, and it's all dependent on where you get it from and how long it's been sitting in the barrel. Just like bourbon.
Chris Jenkins had a good I've lost it now. He had a good question, and now I've lost what it was. Let me try.
Okay, I got it. If you could go back before the price boom, it is today, what would you stock up on?
Pappy Van Winkle.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I'm definitely not a flipper, but guys, wouldn't you all love to be in the Bourbon Legends and for Christmas, me just give you a bottle of Pappy?
Santa Claus, he does bring you fancy things.
He brings presents. It's an awesome thing.
Yeah.
No, I tell you, the things I wish I would have stocked up on is the Eagle Rare 101 proof that was in a box. And when I was in college, they had it up on the wall at the liquor store. And at the time, it was like 25, 29, something like that dollars. And it was this little wooden box. I bought one back then. I can still remember having it. And I still remember we drank it on a Friday night with Coke. And I kind of wish back that, going back to then, I would have, bought a whole case of that and just held on to it.
Old Charter 10 would be that for me. I'd buy all the old Charter 10 I could find because they don't make it anymore. It was so good. And any of that, the Pappies that just sit on the shelf for 120 bucks that you want to buy because it's so expensive, that's worth $50,000 now. It's kind of absurd.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was the thing. We get pictures of one of the stores I worked up in St. Louis, and they had pictures from their ads from back in the day. And they had, Four Roses when they had all the different single barrels. They had every single recipe sitting on their shelf for $39.95. And then they had next to it was Eagle Rare and Stag and everything else, and they were just sitting on the shelves.
That would make somebody jot this down. That would make a great topic for a Thursday night. What is out there today that 10 years from now could be the Pappy Van Winkle? I mean, I dare say, and I'm just going to tease and put this out here, and then I'm getting ready to sign off. But I think one of these little craft distilleries in Alabama might be one of those that could be a Pappy Van Winkle at some point.
I would have to agree. They're going to make it. It's going to make it a little more expensive.
Well, I'll tell you something. Roy P., one of the legends, he's not on here, but he and I were texting today, and Ernest, this Corbin Cash we were talking about, this Corbin Cash single barrel, you can't find one right now, especially at high proof. And I was lucky enough to get one. 21090 did a release of it, another channel out there you guys should love. That's where I fell in love with it at. And I think it's going to be some of these craft distilleries that don't make it, that we all love, that those bottles are going to be worth something someday.
Yeah, the two that I know of that have had them in the past is Bad Axe Bourbon, Bobby, out in California. And again, he's right there near the distillery. And the Dirty DRC Bar, aka the Dirty RC Bar, which he's a new channel kind of popping up, but he's got they both got access, and they've been doing some barrel picks through them. But we can't get them, shipped here unless you get them hand delivered.
All right, guys. Hey, I think we did pretty good tonight. We had no technical difficulties.
Nope.
So far, topics were good. I did have a little idea about in the last 10 minutes. On this video, if you guys will go in and put your questions down that we did not answer today, maybe at some point between now and next week, we could do a little segment. Maybe I could film a little bit with Terry and a little bit with Roger, and we could do maybe some little video inserts for next week's show and follow up on some of these questions. I think that would be fun.
Craig, if it's a holiday though, and Mike Brock says keep going marathon, we could open it up.
Keep going marathon. Geez.
We could.
We've got set. Hey, I mean, if you guys want to, I can go. We want to go a few more minutes. I mean, I'm fine with that.
If Tom Black was able to show up tonight, he'd tell us we can't end without having a what?
A wild turkey. Or we can put the link out and let the guys join us too.
Because he's working, and
we have
Terry, people that are hardworking individuals.
Terry had an idea. We could go. You want me to put the StreamYard out for everybody?
Yeah, put the StreamYard out. Let's let them join. No one's working tomorrow.
Okay, let's see. I'm working. I'm just not getting paid for it.
Well, my work starts early in the morning too. I'll be up about 6 o'clock putting ribs on in the morning.
All right. I just need to figure out how to put this link in the chat. Hold on. Here it goes. I'm doing it. Hey, I'm learning. There it is. There it is.
I will remind you, if you go out to thebourbonlegends.com.
I think I did.
It's not there yet.
You can pick up some of these amazing Glencairns.
I got a little delay. Over here.
There it is. You got it. If you want to join us, come over there. Go ahead, Roger. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I was saying, please go out to the bourbonlegends.com. Check out our website. We got the Karens. We got these toppers with the coin. We have the challenge coins available. We got some T-shirts available. They're fun to wear in the summertime.
Man, and I am working on a new shirt. I think maybe Roger may have seen or I can't remember. I showed it to somebody, but it's the Bourbon Legends.
You showed me. Yeah, it was awesome.
It's the Bourbon Legends logo, and then next to it is a Glencairn about that full, and it's a Hawaiian shirt. But now they're not going to be cheap. They're expensive. But I'm going to tell you what. I will tell you right now. I will sell it to you at what it costs us.
Which is a lot, actually.
It's under 100. I mean, to me, that's a lot for a shirt. But you know,
hey, it's all about having fun.
All right, we're gonna pull in Poor Decisions here. We're gonna bring Poor Decisions in.
Oh, they're up in the bed. Look at them.
Look at them all
They're ready to go to bed. What's up, guys?
No, we're watching you guys. We've been on like multiple lives today, so and we did one a premiere today as well.
Yeah.
Apparently, today was the day to go live.
I figured that out too late.
and if one of our moderators would go out there and find the Poor Decisions Pairings YouTube page and drop it in the chat, that would be very helpful.
How
Thank
is
you.
it?
I appreciate that.
Live from the patio. I didn't even give myself a wrench, and I'm actually not. I'm a mom. I'm actually not.
Well, you gave it to Marty. There's
Terry. That's kind of like my dad says. That when we go out and we measure a carpet job, they say, "How much is that going to be?" And he says, "I don't know. I just own the place.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about it. I just own it." So
and you know, Marty's down by the river, so he can't reach us right now. He's got no satellite, internet, the whole bit.
He's at the lake this week, so he's at the lake. You know, he travels all over those.
Terry, do you know which site? I mean, do you know which campground he's at? I might just drive over there and toilet paper his yard.
They're staying with another family, but I can give you the address to toilet paper their yard. So yeah.
He's not on the lake itself.
No, he's in Heber Springs.
Okay.
Yeah. You could toilet paper that yard. That'd be funny too. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
We got Will's hard at work here. He's putting in.
Look here who I'm getting ready to bring in. Get off my lawn! It's no other than Jimmy Russell II right there.
Mike's got one of them hats on. There you go, Mike.
Looking good, Mike.
Here, I just want everybody to see Mike Brock really well here.
Oh yeah, put him up there.
Look at that. Did you guys see that hat?
I like that hat.
I got a haircut and they skinned it off, so I had to put a hat on.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, I can't say anything. You got the same hat.
Mike, have we done anything wrong tonight? Should you go ahead and just tell us while we're on here what we should have done that we didn't do?
Oh,
wait a minute, hold on. Hold on. I got something going on in the background. I got to kill that. Hold on. Stand by.
Hey, nothing like live TV, Mike. Come on now.
No. He's got a dog around there that that is probably Bo has missed him for
look here.
3 weeks.
You know what's tough?
All right. Here we are. Let's try.
Tough is being on a live, but it's even tougher when you got your dog standing right here watching you.
No, ain't that the truth? Ain't that
Good.
the truth?
God.
My desk now. They're blowing up.
There we go. See,
they're blowing up fireworks. I mean, you guys talked about it earlier. I live in the country, and my dog is scared to death of fireworks. I mean, he's scared to death of all of them, but that's okay. He only has to put up with it. Yada 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 yada. So that's cool.
I guess I'm one of those people that make fun of other people with dogs that are scared of fireworks because this one here is not afraid of anything.
Yeah, but he got a Labrador Retriever in him. He's asking you to get your gun out and shoot it. I mean, leave it alone.
Now, Mike, Mike, you said you didn't like this one, right? You cracked it the other night.
It's opening up. I left the plug out of it last night, and I plugged it back up a while ago. I'll revisit it the first part of next week because that's what I do.
Fresh crack of this one. I'm gonna get into it, and we'll see.
So, okay, Will, what are you drinking right now?
Well, I just finished the Rickhouse Proof Soft Red Wheat,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
and I'm gonna pour the 8-year single barrel.
Ooh.
Ooh, I need a report out on that.
Wow.
Will, did you get that over at 5 Star?
Yes, I did.
For Mr. Sam Rad.
They have quite a few selections of the Ben Holladay over there.
Yeah, I need to go over there and get like the bottle and bond and some of the lower proof stuff too, because all I have is the high proof.
Nope.
And then going back to the Poor Decisions pairing, what are you guys drinking? Looks like you're sharing one in bid there.
Killing off an infinity bottle that I have so I can start a new one.
Oh, nice.
When you get over 400 bottles, you got to figure out a way to kind of take some of them and blend them up so you can at least drink them.
I would have to agree at times.
Ain't that the damn truth? I ran into that. I brought 29 bottles back from Georgia. I got here and there was 4, 6, 8 bottles waiting on me that came via the U.S. postman while I was gone. And I had to rearrange a whole lot of shit to get all my stuff on them.
Boys, over here at my house, I just have a lot of floor bottles. They just, they set on the floor. And Chill Will and Roger has seen some of those floor models.
Yeah, there's some high dollar floor whiskey at Craig's.
That's all because he's too damn lazy to climb up on the ladder and put it on the shelf.
No, when that new Madrid fall goes off, I'd rather them high dollar bottles be on the floor than being 8 foot up and fall off.
Craig, if it goes off, it ain't gonna matter. So,
yeah. Right. I got to tell you something. We all know him. We all love him. But Chill Will, when you flash that bottle, that Ben Holladay 8-year. Who do you think in our group says, I want one?
Daniel.
Beasley.
That would be
I'll tell you
Daniel.
what, if you see one of these, pick it up.
He's never seen one.
It's really good.
Look how dark that is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually heading to St. Louis on Sunday, so hopefully I'll be able to find something like that once I get there.
There's the
on your way up. I'd look on your way up. I wouldn't look in St. Louis itself.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what.
Very popular.
Tell you what, I want to try that bottle really bad, but tonight I opened the Wampus Cat and the Black Walnut.
I found a honey.
Both of those are on my list of. I want them to be bourbons or Rise of the Year. Sorry, Rise of the Year. And I put the cap back on. I don't have to leave the cap out of them overnight. They're pretty damn good right straight out the neck. So if the neck pour is that good, I can only imagine what they turn into.
That Black Walnut Rye is one of my favorites I've ever had.
Just because we call ourselves the Bourbon Legends does not mean that we do not partake in ryes and.
Oh no, we've got some ryes in our.
We like them all. Yeah, Matt Crittenden. I mean, one of these things, guys and girls, we're trying to do is, me and Terry's talked about this. We want to try to start doing some interviews, and I'd love to get Matt Crittenden on here one evening and sipping a little bit of Crittenden's and talking about the process. I think that would be fascinating.
I think you need to get Poor Decisions on here as well and interview them and find out what got them started.
We could do it. We can do
that.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Matt mentioned tonight or today during his live stream that he's going to come up on his summer break where he stops producing for about I think he said 6 weeks, and mainly because of the heat, and the other is so he can spend more time with the family. And again, I don't blame him at all because that man goes 12 months a year, most years, and I think he's finally realized he's going to have to stop doing that as much.
Breaking news, Craig. Breaking news. You heard it here first. get your Crittenden's now because it's about to disappear.
There you go.
Yeah.
For 6 weeks or so.
Well,
He's-
especially when Keith P hits the distillery on Saturday, there won't be anything left in there.
Oh, is Keith
Yeah.
going over? Is Keith going over for the tour?
The
Yep.
big tour,
Oh yeah.
the day after
Well,
4th of
Keith
July
is an
tour.
out. Keith is an hour away or less.
Oh yeah, it's close.
You know.
Yeah, but he's got orders now. He's got people wanting certain bourbons.
Talking about making donuts. I mean, you know, since I am a donut maker, this heat is pretty hard on the yeast because the yeast is very finicky. The yeast likes to ferment and to make the donuts rise. Somewhere around 85 to 90 is kind of like the sweet spot. And if you're starting to get up there, you know, around 100 degrees, it's tough on the yeast. So you have to have your own chiller to chill your donut batter down, if you will.
There you go. There you go.
So yeah, but yeah, I get, you know, most Kentucky distilleries, they shut down usually in August, you know, for cleanup, if you will. But
Retooling. Let's just call it retooling.
yeah.
Well, there's quite a few that are already closed down now. I mean, I think.
Hey, Roger, from
Yeah.
the chat, RJ States wants to know if you're familiar with Nobleton's from the St. Louis area.
Nobleton's, yeah. Nobleton's
Nobleton's?
Distillery, yeah. It's a craft distillery that was in the was it Farmington, Arnold, that area south of the city. He'd been producing bourbon or been making the bourbon and the whiskey at his family farm for a lot of years before he had a license to do such operations, if you know what I'm saying. And he had a lot of aged bourbon that he put together, and he's been selling it, especially in that market, and it's very, very good. I'll have to send some samples out. I've got a few bottles around here to send some samples to the group, see if they like it.
And T, I will have to tell you, I'm excited about the Nashville thing. It's a crying shame. It's a crying shame that got to the store today, and I just got home yesterday, and now I got to go back down there. He was telling me it wasn't going to be there until next week.
Hey, at least we didn't tell everybody what we're getting.
No,
I didn't realize, Mike.
Don't hammer me. It's all gone.
I didn't realize that it actually dropped in that store today.
Either.
Yeah.
I didn't either. I knew.
Oh man, what a kick in the pants!
Yeah,
I knew he shortened the date. He's now talking about sometime in July. I'm like, wait a minute. How'd we go from August, July? But that would be awesome, going to Nashville and hanging out for a couple of days.
So
Well,
what you guys don't know, and I'm gonna plug this a little bit. Don't hound Mike because it's all gone already. But this is one of the things that we envisioned when we started the Bourbon Legends, and we're still working on, working out the kinks. But one of the things we wanted to do is like regional. So like if you lived in Texas, maybe you could get Still Austin and like maybe give it, let everybody purchase it from you.
Tangier.
Or Tangier, that'd be good, too. But Mike got in with a store down in Florida when he was down there.
Is that the Bourbon
He
Legends
got
condom,
a couple
Mike?
of cases of Detling bottled in bond.
Yeah.
And so he was nice enough not to hoard every bit of it himself and share it with the other Bourbon Legends. And so we may be heading over to Nashville here in the next week or 2 or 3 and meeting up. And then, nothing like driving all the way to Nashville to get a bottle or two and drive all the way back home, right?
And
but
Nashville's a fun place to hang out.
It's
too.
about the experience and hanging out with people and doing all that. That's what makes you a legend.
My little thought is, depending on how many people go with us, we're going to Nashville Barrel Company. We might be able to do our own little mini pick right there. Have them blend together what we want, and all of us get the same bottle.
Maybe so.
I'm just saying, little spitball.
But just a little story here. I went in this store last year at Thanksgiving while I was down in Georgia, and the store is actually in Florida. And I'm looking for somewhere to go bourbon hunting, and this store kept coming up. So I go down there and I get talking to one of the store managers, and his name is Alex, and he and I have started a real good rapport. But he calls me all the time, and he says, "Hey, I got this coming in, and I got that coming in. Hey, can you put it back for me? I'll send my nephew over to pick it up." Now I'm in Indiana. Okay, my nephew's in Thomasville, Georgia, which is probably 45 minutes away. So all through the year, when I get to Georgia, I owe my nephew about $600 every year. So because he goes down and picks that stuff up for me. But it all started over this little coin right here. I left that coin with this coin
Renee?
with that guy, and he just keeps me in tune with what he gets in down there. And it's all about the relationships. Just go talk to people. That's all I can tell you.
That's
You'll
a big
find
deal,
what
Mike.
you're
You're right.
for.
You're
Amen.
right. We were in Oxford last weekend in just a store we'd never been into before. And we walked in because, we were there to pick up some Detlink, and we started chatting up this guy. And he says, "Hey, you guys," we told him about our little YouTube channel. He said, "Most of these guys come in there, record something, not even talk to you and leave." We're like, "No, that's not our type." Next thing you know, we're buying stuff. He's giving us his employee discount. And he's like, "Give me your number. If we get something, we'll let you know." And they're a new store. But you're right, Mike. Those relationships, you have no idea how much they pay off in the end.
I hadn't got to the discount part yet, but he ain't charging me nothing but SRP on everything.
Yep.
So I'm happy with that.
That's
Well,
good.
Our most popular video, we were down visiting family in the Houston area, and we went to a couple of stores. One of them was recommended by one of the restaurant owners that we actually did an interview with because he has craft beer and everything. But the two, they were shocked. They said they had several people come in and talk to them, wanting to film, and then they were gone. And most of them didn't buy anything. We bought all kinds of stuff. And to this day, those owners still text us, "Oh, hey, we had somebody come in, said they saw your video and stuff. And, we want to thank you for, helping get us out there." And I mean, it's building those relationships. And we tell that to everybody. They're like, "Oh, how did you get that old Fitz? How did you get that Pappy? How did you get this, that, and the other?" It's all in relationships. And it's more than going in and slapping down a credit card and saying, "I'll take it." Talk to them, get to know them, and let them know you. That's how you build that.
We like interview owners, them spotlight,
Wow.
and let them do a complete interview.
Nope.
Then
You're dead. You'll be all right.
is what's on the shelves. I mean, people like to watch that, but we want people to become these store owners.
But Craig, I think that's might be a show. You get your store owner down there in your favorite store and get him to come on and interview him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. Well, hey guys, we have been on a lot tonight. I hate to do this, but man, I'm going to be like up at 6. I know Terry's got to get up early. Some of us have to work tomorrow on the 4th of July, even if it's just entertaining other people. So, and you know what? This heat takes it out of us big boys, doesn't it, Terry?
It does.
I mean,
it knocks us down. That's why we got to hydrate with whiskey. We got to hydrate with bourbon. That's
Hey,
no.
I will say, don't leave. The bar will be open in the Discord here shortly.
Well, that's what I was just going to say, and that's a good segue, Mike. One of the things about us old bourbon legends is somebody almost, it's kind of like, I'll tell one quick story and I'm going to leave. I'm a big New Orleans guy. I love going to New Orleans, and we have our little haunts down there, the Schooner Saloon or the Boondock Bar. And if you get into town, almost no matter whether it's summertime, wintertime, Mardi Gras, whatever, you go to the bar, you're going to see somebody you know. And that's kind of how us Bourbon Legends are. You go to our Discord, you go into the chat room, into the bar there, somebody's usually going to be there in the evening. It's probably going to be Mike Brock, but he's a good guy. So
He just tell you to
anyway.
get off his
It's
lawn.
going to be Dicklepick. Dicklepick's already over there.
Oh,
He is already over
Dickle's been over there all before. Okay, I have a technical question, Terry.
Yeah.
Can I just hit end the stream and it'll go into the outro video?
Yes, it will. That's exactly right. That's how
All
it
right,
works.
everybody, it's like the Brady Bunch. Everybody wave to each other. Look over to this down. Anyway, hey guys, thanks for joining us tonight. We're gonna have the after party over on the Discord channel. Go to www.thebourbonlegends.com. That can get you in over there. Have a good 4th of July. Thank God we're not in England because we'd be working
Oh,
tomorrow.
wow.
And now we're just going to be celebrating.
Come back with all 10 digits.
Hey, I'm going to try, my friend.
Oh, 9
Guys and girls, be legendary. Be legendary. We'll see you next Thursday, okay, guys?
Let's see what this outro looks like.
All right, here we go.
I want to know.
You got to hit end first.
Anytime,
I'm hitting the end, damn.